Would you like to know how to publish a children's book? If you've watched this channel or seen any of the other videos, you're like, but Dale, you've already kind of talked about this, but I haven't talked about one thing, and that is how to make a picture book. And if you're watching this on the replay, chances are you're probably like, let's get to the point, but I'm going to go ahead and save you a little bit of the trouble. I'm going to be talking to some of the live viewers that are right here, right now. So you can go right down into the description down below and click the timestamps. I try to make those available for you so that way you can just skip right to the chase. Today's going to come in two different parts. Okay, we're going to actually talk about the actual step-by-step process of what you need to do to create a picture book, and the next is going to be the practical application. Today is going to be a little longer of a stream, but again, I'm going to try to really break things up. I do want to give a big shout out over to everybody here, and that is Lord Vader. Good to see you, Lord Vader. Thank you very much for joining. Let's get ready to publish for sure. What's going on there, Walter Wyburn? How are you doing, buddy? Everybody, he's been trucking right along. He put out a 2-minute video the other day. He was in and out, man. Dropped some 411 over on his channel. You guys got to go check him out. Prepared for Publishing Enlightenment. Today's going to be a fun one. Hope everyone's enjoying the weekend. We hope that you're enjoying yours as well, Katrina. By the way, Katrina has been a video machine lately. She's been doing a lot of her work in progress on her channel. Folks, make sure you go take a look at her channel. Let's see how. Mike Hurd, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Kevin McGuire, how are you, buddy? It's good to see you joining here. Kevin Barry McGuire, actually the guy who did the audiobook narration for my brother's now official best-selling book. And if you folks have not seen this video yet, go back and watch the last published video and check it out. Talks a little bit about how we made this ebook an international best-selling book within 12 hours. Katyan Roach, it's good to see you. Des, it's good to see you. Great to finally be able to get one of these while they're actually happening. Well, I'm glad that you joined. Thank you very much, Sandra Seeley, for the subscribe. I appreciate that. Kathy Fit, hey, look, it's good to see you. I see your bro's book in the background. Yep, it is really cool. I'm super, super happy with it. 5x8 matte finish. This is actually, I did the unboxing, unpackaging over on my YouTube Stories feature, but I love how it all came out. It's just a beautiful interior. This is one thing I'm gonna tell everybody is, don't take this lightly. When you're putting together your print book, try to get it to where it pops up off the page. You really want to take a little extra time. The voice is here. Yes, the voice is here. Kevin McGuire is hanging out in the house for sure. Judy Walters, how's it going? Good to see you, Judy. Daniel, it's good to see you. Ooh la la, new image suits you. Oh, thank you very much. Are you talking about the beard? It's functional more than aesthetic. It's a paperback. Yes, that was a paperback. I want one. I would gift out to everybody, but unfortunately I do have to kind of like only give out so much. So sorry, I'm not going to send out free copies to everybody. It is available, by the way, folks, if you head over to dalelinks.com/ebook, it'll take you over to the product page. There is the ebook, the print book, and the audiobook are officially available on Amazon. So if you want to help support the channel, help support a good friend of the channel as well, my brother. He's not going to be able to make it today because he's right now in the middle of moving from one house to the next. Inspiration Revisited, how you doing? Good to see you joining us here. All right, it's getting towards that 5-minute mark, so that means that we're going to have to kind of just transition right on over. So let me kill the countdown. I do want to bring to your attention a few things here. First of all, no more Wednesday broadcasts. That's right, no more Wednesday nights. Sorry. Aww. So I just want to let everybody know, please mark off Wednesdays, but we're going to be here Saturdays. So stay with me on Saturdays. We're going to get together as per usual every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you mark your calendars accordingly. And then, of course, join me every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/self-publish when we do the podcast recording. It's a little bit looser, a little bit more fun. And really, folks, listen, don't sleep on Twitch. A lot of people think it's just for gamers. And believe it or not, if you can't make the video broadcast, you can actually watch it again on replay. All you got to do is just go into the videos, but it's not like YouTube. You can't wait. You have to get it within the first 2 weeks because Twitch purges all the videos. So, all right, let's go ahead and let's talk about, how to self-publish a children's book and to make that picture book. So, So, at any rate, if you want to know how to self-publish a children's book, you come to the right place. We're going to talk about making a picture book in just minutes. And this is going to come in two parts because I'm going to talk a little bit about the actual steps that you need to do, and then I'm going to do the practical application. So you want to make sure that you stay tuned to today's video. This is Self-Publishing with Dale, where you'll learn to publish books that sell. You want to make sure that you hit that little subscribe button and turn the bell notifications on so you don't miss a single one of the videos. Hey, just a really quick note, stick around to the end because I am going to do the step-by-step tutorial as soon as we, just kind of talk about some of the, the steps here. Big shout out over to our sponsors, Vexels, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about Vexels as the broadcast goes on here. They are a great royalty-free image website. They have over 100,000 different designs. You can actually go set up, they actually right this minute have a Black Friday to Cyber Monday deal that's 55% off everything. Go open it up in another tab. You'll thank me once we're done, and you can actually end up following along with me in this little tutorial here. It's easy for me to say. So the biggest issue I see when it comes to doing children's books is overwhelm. A lot of people don't find quite as much information about doing that as say what you can for nonfiction and fiction. And a lot of people are kind of like, where do I start? What do I do? How do I do the art? And some people are just like, this is too much. So there's a lot of overwhelm. And then, when it comes to doing picture books, some people are like, what images should I use? What software works best? So I'm actually going to give you just some great 411. And as we kind of go through the broadcast, it might kind of grease your creative wheels. Now, just know that there's more ways than one to kind of do this whole thing. So don't feel like you're going to be limited to any one thing. So let's go ahead. I got, why picture books? First of all, why picture books? Because kids like them. They like to actually open them up, look at them. Kids of all sizes and ages. So at this point, it's not just, why picture books, why not? I mean, this is something you should add to your self-publishing portfolio, and you're going to find it's relatively simple to kind of put things together. And like I said, with a little bit of ingenuity, you can kind of get things going. So we got 5 steps to make a picture book in minutes. Here we go. Step number 1 is going to be research first. Do a little bit of due diligence. Find out that there's proof of concept in your given niche. So for instance, some, kids love to see cats and dogs or monkeys or any kind of like animals. So do your due diligence, go in, do some research and see what is really profitable. And you want to kind of get this all done ahead of time because one of the worst things you can do is put the cart in front of the horse and you just load up this picture book and you put it on up there and you're like, Dale, picture books don't sell anything. Well, of course, you probably did it in the wrong niche. So make sure that you get it all researched ahead of time. Step number 2 is going to be find your images. Now, there are 2 ways that you can do your images. One is DIY. So if you've got yourself a fancy Canon Rebel, you can go around, snap some shots or something like that. You can use your iPhone. These are real images. You can even go to, say, for instance, stock image websites. Now, this is one I told you I was going to talk a little bit about Vexels today. And they actually have premium image websites. And this includes Vexels and any other ones as well. And with Vexels, they actually have all the graphic design assets that you could want. And I'm telling you, you'll be blown away at the number of things they have there. If you want to get an account set up again, go over to dalelinks.com/Vexels. Get it set up right away. They've got a few different pricing plans. I've got the Pro plan. It's more than sufficient, and you'll see why here in just a little bit. But there's also the Merch, and there's also the Business plan. Each one of them are fantastic in their own right. All right, so step number 3 is going to be to create the interior. Now, I'm going to show you how to create the interior here shortly. It's really not all that hard. It's just getting and taking some time and actually organizing in a way that you feel is going to work out for your publication. I would almost always make sure that you have images that are high quality. So when I say take pictures with your phone, you don't be taking pictures with your flip phone that has low resolution. It's all pixelated because it's not going to print out very good. And in most instances, I would recommend for a picture book, go for it full color. Full color is the best way to go. It's just, you know, it looks like good high premium quality, you know, content. And when somebody buys it, they're going to be like, oh, yay. Whereas if it's grayscale, they're going to be fairly underwhelmed. Now, there might be some exceptions to the rule. So, all right. So you've created the interior. Now you're going to want to make sure that you save as a PDF and a Mobi. Now, PDF is going to be what you're going to print onto your paperback version, or if you're doing a hardback of some sort, and then Mobi is going to be for when you upload over to, say, something like KDP. In the event that, you know, you want to do somewhere else, you're going to need to have an EPUB file, but you can do both of those, and I'm going to tell you how, because what we're going to do is use Kindle Kids Book Creator. You can just essentially Google that up and it'll pull up KDP's site, download the software. It works with both any iOS devices, well, mainly just Mac, and PC. And I've used PC, I've used both Mac. Both of them are very user-friendly. It does take a little bit of time. So if anything, actually, it takes a little more time to actually process your file if you have a ton of high-quality images in there. So just fair warning, it might take you quicker to actually put together the interior than it will to render it over to Mobi file. Now the reason you're going to do it to Mobi is that way it is readable on all Kindle devices, so they can actually check it out. You can put it into the KU program and get paid pages flipped. And I got to tell you, actually I got a handful of picture books I'm real happy with that continue to bring in a nice little passive income, and that's from page flips and the occasional purchase of the print books. So I've got one final tip here. I do want to give just a quick plug here, let you know that every Saturday we're here on this channel at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's at dalelinks.com/live. You don't want to miss it out. We're skipping Wednesdays, no more Wednesday nights. And then, of course, join me every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/self-publish for the podcast recording. You can subscribe there for free with your Amazon Prime. You can find out how to do that at dalelinks.com/twitchprime. Wow, so we blaze through some of these things. It's for good reason, because we're going to do the practical steps here. So step number 5 is going to become prolific. This is going to be one that's going to take some time. It's going to take some energy. It's going to take some effort. This is not something you're just going to be able to put up onto the marketplace and just get, you know, money raining down upon you. It's going to work much in the same way that you would for a nonfiction or a fiction brand. You're going to need to become prolific, because the more times you can put out assets, it's going to be more opportunities that people can see who you are and what your brand is as pretty much a picture book author or picture book publisher. I think we're going to probably go with that. So that is what I have to cover so far. Again, you can get access to Vexels. They're having a 55% off. If for some reason you're watching this beyond Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that's okay. They still have some killer plans on a monthly plan. Might I recommend the lifetime plan? It's worth it in the long term, because then you own all the images outright, no attributions required. Alrighty, so we're going to pause for just a second. I want to see who all is in the house, and then we're going to switch over to the actual tutorial here and talk about how we do some of this process. Let's see who all is in here. Marilyn Melton, it's good to see you. I have a picture book series about kittens. Oh, I love cats and kittens. I probably have looked at your book at some point. Canon Rebel's a starter camera. It's big to me, man. It's big to me. I see one of those Canon Rebels and I'm like, no, there's too many moving parts for me. Kelly's in the house, both virtually and physically here, folks. Simon, good to see you. Few, in by a whisker. It's good to see you join us here. Sean Goldsmith, Dale, your YouTube channel rocks. I need a banana sticker. Sean, drop me a line over at Dale at Self-Publishing with Dale, and I will. Dale at selfpublishingwithdale.com. I'll drop you a sticker in the mail here. I have to say, it's been very brave of you. You have had tons of encouragement, though. I must have missed that little comment there. What's going on, Keith Wheeler Books? Happy Saturday, everybody. No more Wednesday Warriors. I'm sorry to leave you hanging, Keith. You were upstaging me. I had to leave Wednesdays. I'm like, man, this guy's got heat, man. No, I'm totally kidding, by the way, folks. I love me some Keith Wheeler. How many people caught the collaboration I did with Keith? It was a hoot. Already over 1,000 views. Ronnie Barnes, good to see you join us here. Alrighty, so if folks, if you have questions, concerns, comments, make sure you drop them inside the chat. So here's what we're going to do, is now I'm going to go through the practical application of how to do this. So let's go ahead and we're going to transition over here into this screen here. All right, so the very first step that you're going to need to do is get all your images together. Make sure they're all inside one file. So for instance, let me just kind of show you here, and I've got it on my other screen. I have all of my pictures that I want here. So I downloaded all the ones that I want. Now, I'm just doing this book, this quote-unquote book, as an example. I'm probably not going to publish it because I would rather take some time and go through and maybe make some pictures that are going to be, I don't know, the same, that kind of have the same kind of artistic flair to them. So I would recommend that you do the same as well. So at any rate, all of them are right here in the file. The next thing is going to be, I recommend using PowerPoint. You can do Keynote. You can do Google Slides. And if you're really, really awesome at it, you can also use something like InDesign. But you start to get a little bit more complex. I'm going to show you how simple it is. And by the way, if you want to get your hands on the template for doing this, I've got a free one. It's for 6x9. This one I'm actually going to show you is 8x25 by 8.25. But at any rate, you can get your hands on this. Go to dalelinks.com/template. I've got the link inside the description down below. You can always follow along. When you hit the download on that, we're going to go ahead and open up that PowerPoint presentation, all right? So there we go. It is opened up. I'm going to go ahead and hit enable as soon as my cursor shows up. What are you doing with me here? There we go. All right, so I've enabled the editing. You'll notice right away, it should say right panel, odd pages. I've shared this over on the key thing. I don't know why I missed that, but at any rate, I've put it out already where you can do title page, you got the blank page, copyright page, and blank page. Might I recommend, all right, on your copyright page, in the event, so for instance, if you're using Vexels images, they do require attribution. So this is where you would end up putting your attribution at. And just to kind of further prove it, when you download one of their images, some of our graphics are free to use as long as we're credited designed by Vexels, where the graphic is used. You can avoid giving attribution and enjoy many other benefits by becoming a subscriber or buying an individual license. Now, the individual licenses are a little bit more pricey than if you were to, for instance, just get the outright lifetime membership. Highly recommend. They've got a really killer deal. And by the way, you can use some of these graphics on, say, like t-shirts and merchandise of some sort. But any rate, I wanted to kind of share that with you. So in the event that you're doing your copyright page, copyright 2019, Dale Roberts LLC. Okay, that's not a legit thing, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to shrink it on down. Let's get it about 12 text. All right, and then at this point, pictures credited to Vexels. Hang on a second. Yeah, there was actually some verbiage they had here. Designed by Vexels. Pictures designed by Vexels. For details, visit vexels.com. All right. So I'd put that in there, and probably my normal disclaimer, that type of a thing. When you're done with your layout, now see, I did bleed for good reason. It's that way so we can actually have the pictures to take up the entire thing, because if you didn't have the pictures cover the entire thing, you're going to have to stay within these margins. Same thing goes if you happen to be doing a picture book and you want to have text in it. You want to make sure that the text is within this little red box here. The red bar around the outside is the bleed area. So any significant things need to stay away from that bleed. I'm going to go ahead and left click. We're going to delete that off there. So there we go. Since this is a blank page, I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to delete both of these things. I'm going to delete that. All right. And then let's just say that I did my research, and I didn't actually. Cats and dogs are my favorite. We're just going to go ahead and say that. All right, we can change out the text if we want to. Let's find something cute. I don't want to go too crazy on it, but I like that. That's a good little text right there. All right, let's go ahead and let's get this moved in a little bit right there. All right, awesome. We're going to go ahead and delete that. There is our title page for our book. All right, now you're going to notice I automatically have this set up to where it's done for journals. We don't need that for journals at all, so we're just going to go ahead and remove that. I don't need to have that, and I don't need to have this either, so let's go ahead and delete that. Boom, boom. All right, so now I went through and deleted. Now the next step is going to be actually putting in the images. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to open up my book, and very first thing is I know I've got about roughly, I think, 20 images. So what I'll do is I'll go copy, paste, 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 until we get to right about 34 pages, because I've got about nearly 30 images. All right, you can technically go ahead and just remove all of the the panels if you wanted to. I would recommend that if you plan on adding text, leave those in place. So that way you're not getting yourself confused. So here's what I'll do is, the very first thing is I'm just going to click and drag it on down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I want to make sure it scales to the right size. So I'm just going to click and drag on the corners. Ooh, not bad. All right, so now it's kind of centered. Now you look over on the left-hand side and you'll see what it's going to look like when people actually have this specific book. So we could technically, if we wanted to, crop this down. So let's just say, for instance, I don't want any of these extra cats here or something. We can always crop it down to like right here, but it's looking like right now we may have to kind of leave it as is. So let's go ahead and just going to move this puppy on over here. No pun intended on the puppy. Okay, not too bad. Now, keeping in mind that the binding is going to be here on the left-hand side since it's a right panel. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to drag, drop. And we can just, if we wanted to, we can just click and drag all of them down and then just move them. But what we want to do is just go through and rinse and repeat. If you don't have PowerPoint, by the way, don't worry. You can actually use Google Slides. Believe it or not, actually, I kind of like Google Slides a little better, but there's a lot of people that use PowerPoint, so that's why I decided to kind of go for the one that's most used. I've used all three of them in some capacity. Now, again, all these images are courtesy of Vexels, the sponsors of this channel. They've been fantastic and gracious to hook me up with the Pro account. And they have a ton more images for those that actually have a merch account or even a business account. That's adorable. I just want to show you just how simple this is as we're kind of going through. And you notice I'll just leave the panels on. We can delete them if we wanted to. In fact, we might even do that as we go through here. Alrighty. Dragging and dropping it on in there. We're getting there, folks. Almost there. Just a few more images left. Now see, there's a good reason why I'm not going to release this book, is because it's just a hodgepodge of images. I'd almost rather have some images that actually look alike, that is done possibly by the same artist, rather than all this hodgepodge. But I'm just, again, doing this as an example. And that's an interesting image. And we're getting down to the last few. That's funny. Dropping it in here. Alrighty. Okay, so we don't need this last page. I can go ahead and delete that off of there. So now we're just going to go ahead and just take it one image at a time. And as we're going through, we can probably just, get rid of the panel because we won't need it. Heck, that's probably near perfect if I wanted to do that. But let's go ahead and let's make it cute. Why not? We're going to just tilt it just a little bit and so since the actual binding is towards this direction, I'd probably just leave that over towards here. You can always just copy and paste. So copy, paste this on down. And here's what I'm going to do. Watch this. We're going to go into picture format. and we're going to go ahead and send to the back. And so what this has done is actually put a little bit more of that texture there. If for some reason we want to crop a little bit of that image that's on the bottom, we can always go. So that way it just leaves that textured area there. Excellent. And you know what? Let's go ahead. I'm going to make this guy bigger. Alrighty. And we went to the picture. We're going to crop it. All right. And done. Here's what we'll do is we'll go copy, and then we're going to paste it on in. So that way all we have to do is just grab this. We're going to send it to the back. I'm going to get rid of this bleed area here. I'm going to crop this on down. Come on now, Dale. Normally I know what I'm doing here, folks. There we go. Excellent. Let's close that cropping out. I'm going to copy, and I'm just going to paste it. So that way we can just fill it all the way in. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. All right. And we've done it all the way into the binding. Not sure what the heck I did there. I must have changed it. So at any rate, you get the idea. As you kind of go through, you're just going to go through and fix all this stuff. So the very next step that you're going to want to do is make sure that you have everything kind of together. Remember that when you have your book all laid out, so anytime it says right panel, that is, for instance, when you are opening up, okay, the right page, all right? So that's going to be the right page of your book. Now, when it comes to the left page, it's going to be on the left-hand side. So pretty simple. So when you have it out in front of you, you want to make sure you're kind of going through and taking a look at that. So now what we need to do, remember I said inside the instructions, we need to create a PDF and we need to create an Emobi file. So what I will do is this. Let's go on over into File. You want to make sure, of course, that you save your template. So let's go ahead and hit Save As. And let's just say it's my dogs and cats. I can't remember what I called my book. Are awesome. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that so I can come back and do anything that I need to. For some reason, it doesn't pass the KDP Vetter. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit Export, or we can even hit Save As. I lean in favor of Save As because you just hit PDF and we're going to hit Save. It's going to take just a second. All righty. I do not know where I went and saved it. That's how good I am, folks. Let's go back over to save here. Alrighty, PDF. Let's go to more options so I save it in the right spot. Yeah, I went into the downloads here. Hang on, let's go into just regular downloads by itself. We'll hit save. Okay, so there was already inside there. All right, good. I'm gonna go into my downloads folder. There's my PDF. Now again, this would all be formatted properly. We would have all of our images in here and no panels. Remove the panels, folks. Don't leave the panels there. And it would be all set and ready to go. So that right there is print ready. It's ready to be uploaded. Just be very mindful, okay, that you're going to right click on it and hit properties. See how big it is, because if you get, like, I think it's 400 and some odd megabytes, so almost, if you go about a half a gig on your file, KDP won't take it. It's just too freaking large. So you may have to compress some of your images. I try to avoid compressing images as much as possible because it starts to kill a little bit of the resolution. Alrighty, so we've got the PDF ready to go. What about when we make the Kindle ebook? So let's go ahead. You're going to download Kindle Kids Book Creator, create a new kids book. We're going to continue. Let's go ahead and put in our title. Cats and dogs are awesome. All right, author of the book is going to be, I don't know, Dale Scottsdale. I'm just coming up with names here, folks. You can put in whatever your publisher might be, your limited liability corporation, whatever that might be. English is going to be what I'm going to be doing in the book. Browse, and you want to put this into an appropriate area. So I typically try to put it into a separate file of some sort. We'll go ahead and do a new one, and I'm going to go ahead and put KDP. There we go. And let's go ahead and dump those files in here. We're going to select that folder. We're going to continue. All right, so now you're going to go ahead and select how you want people to read this. Is your book in landscape or portrait orientation? For me, I can do either or, but since I did a square format, I almost feel like it's going to be better landscape. And I'm going to shoot for one image at a time when people are actually looking at it. If you did 2 images, it'll make those images really small. So I'd almost rather go 1 image at a time, and they can kind of flip through it at their leisure. So we're going to hit, there we go. Import your entire book, including the cover, from a PDF. By the way, it is a good idea, something I did not mention because I didn't have a book cover. Make the very first page your book cover when you export to PDF for Kindle's Kids Book Creator, because it's going to automatically default that as your first page. So it's a good idea to do that. We didn't create a cover just for time's sake. So I just wanted to make sure I was clarifying that. So at any rate, import your entire book. So we create it from PDF. Let's go on into our downloads. Select that, open. Okay, so this might take a minute because obviously it is a little bit larger of a file. You can see that it's becoming pretty darn easy. Doc Sexy, it's good to see you joining us here today. Bonnie Phillips says, hit the like for Dale. Thank you. I do like likes. If you guys can like this video and you're enjoying it, make sure you share it through social media. Party's not over just yet. This is so much fun. Oh, good, good. Hi, Walter. Not at all jealous of the weather. All right, so it just popped up over here on my other window. You have successfully imported your pages. To enhance your book with text pop-ups, use the Add Pop-up, Add Text buttons in the text toolbar. Now, this is kind of like little Easter egg type things. So for instance, if you wanted to, put a pop-up of in some sort, like it might be a picture of the cat, and when somebody clicks on that, it might say, we got these images from Vexels.com. So in that event, we'd be able to do that. So for me, I'm just going to probably leave it as is. This will work. Now you're going to notice that it seems real granulated, almost real pixelated on here. Rest assured, when it prints out, renders, it's going to look just fine. I've never seen an issue because remember, it's going to go to a really small device. It's not like someone's going to be reading this book on their TV. At least I don't think they would. Alrighty, so now it's all set. If I'm happy with everything and I'm ready to move along, what I will do now is I will go up into File, Save for Publishing. Let's go ahead. You see it says .mobi. It's going to save it in here. That is going to be the file we're going to use to upload to KDP. So we're going to hit Save. And it's going to go through, and it's getting it all rendered and whipped together. I'm thinking for how basic this thing is, yeah, it went fast. So they pretty much told you from there. So when you go over and you upload your book, if you've ever uploaded any kind of books, it's relatively simple. It's fairly intuitive. And by the way, I show how to do that in my free online course for beginners. If you want to take a look at that, just go over to DIYpublishing.biz/free and you can actually get enrolled. I showed you how to actually upload ebooks and print books. In this instance, there wouldn't be audiobooks for this because that wouldn't make any sense at all. So in any event, so that is pretty much how you put together a picture book in minutes. I think that probably took us all in all about, 15 minutes? Probably, if I would have tweaked this, I've found most instances when I sit down and I really put my mind to it and I do a picture book, it's going to take me somewhere close to like 2 hours because I like to have good format. I like to have good structure. Sometimes I'll change the coloring. I'll upgrade the photos a little bit. And every now and then you might want to add some text or a call to action like, hey, go check out my other picture books. So in any event, let's go ahead and we're going to close this on out. We'll discard. And just so you know, wherever you changed or you saved your Mobi file, you just, again, get that .mobi file, you upload that over to KDP. Does Vexel have images of different creatures? They have tons, hundreds of thousands of images. This is one of those cases, folks, 10 minutes before I came on here, I got onto Vexels and I just downloaded all these assets. And they have JPEG, they have .ai, there's so many things. And this is just Pro, by the way. I have Pro access. If you get the merch access, you actually will get even more. It unlocks a ton of great features. So yeah, just as a heads up, you want to head on over, go to dalelinks.com/Vexels to get your account set up right away. Again, there's like a 55% off sale right now for Black Friday. If you're watching this after the special, you can also see that, look, it's not bad even at full price. I mean, $10 per month, you can actually do one design request. That's pretty cool. You can actually put in a request. They actually insisted I do one, but I just haven't had the time. You can access over 60,000 design graphics. By the way, it's up to 100,000. Only commercial use, no merch. You can do 200 downloads a month. Now, I just want to let everybody know that you're only limited to a certain amount of designs you can download per day. So I was limited to 30. I downloaded 30 today. So they're like, that's it for the next 24 hours. And then I can go back in later on. So don't feel like, oh man, that sucks. I can only do 30 designs within a day. Yeah, just pump your brakes, take your time, and it will be worth it in the long run. But I would just highly recommend that you look into the actual merch lifetime deal, and you can actually scroll down a little bit more. You get some idea on how much that costs. It is a higher premium, but you have access to it forever. So that is at 55% off as well. Again, you can head over to dalelinks.com/Vexels for all the information that you need to know. Folks, I do want to thank Vexels. They have been nothing but gracious and so super cool to me and setting me up some access. Alrighty, questions, concerns, and comments. Let's open up we're going to get rid of my PowerPoint presentation, the other one, and let's open up this one. 30 is a lot. Yeah, 30 is going to keep you going. You can see like right away. So for instance, let me share with you, this is my illustrated picture book, Grumpy Gus Meets Santa Claus, shameless self-plug. But this one is about roughly 40 pages altogether. And, something also that I didn't even, account for is if you're pretty good at, say, graphic design software like GIMP or Photoshop, or any of those other type ones, you can also take some of these images and start to alter them. Not too many people realize that actually I bought the rights to numerous images and I created the Frankenstein that is Grumpy Gus. So the funny part is Grumpy Gus's head, his body, his arms, his legs, and his shoes are all different image assets that I purchased, and I was able to actually tweak those and make them my own. The hat's different. Santa Claus was a nightmare to put together. Believe it or not, the actual mustache and the beard are two separate things altogether, and making Santa Claus was a blast for me. But yeah, you can take a look over at Grumpy Gus Meets Santa Claus. It's a perfect time of year if you're watching this right now in December. Alrighty, folks, questions, concerns, comments. Gonna rewatch when I start my children's book, though. It's something I wanted to do, but I wanted to draw it myself. Yeah, actually, there is a link down inside the description down below where I talk about those of you that are a little bit more artistic than I am, and you can draw it out. I got some great information from John Celestri. He actually was an animator of my childhood and a good friend of mine now. So John Celestri actually did this book, Snuffy and Zoe. This is actually printed by Fairspark Books. Big shout out to Fairspark Books. But they actually did this one, but in the video where I talk a little bit about how you're doing your own illustrations, I reached out to John and I was like, hey, how are you doing some of this? And he actually gave me some great 411 on how to actually scan it and the resolution that you want to have it at and how you want to color it and such. So that was kind of a cool thing. That Santa's amazing though. Oh man, that Santa was a nightmare to put together, but he was a lot of fun. Seems easy enough. Yes, Letitia. My book will have pictures and text. Yeah, and that's going to be the thing is, you can do just picture books by themselves, but if you really, really, really want to like think outside the box, you throw some text in there as well. That's going to definitely be a good thing. Writing nonfiction. Love learning new ideas from Dale. Thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate that. Yeah, I always just recommend, as an author, it's great. If you're a nonfiction author or fiction author, you can create a good significant income by building that. But every now and then, if you just find yourself going, man, I'd love to have some, additional income, I just try to give you additional avenues that you can kind of consider. So for some reason you look at this and you go, I'm going to make thousands of dollars. I want to be realistic. It's like everything else. It's going to take time, attention, and energy put into it. No less that if you're paying image rights licensing, that's going to take a little bit. I know one of the viewers of this channel, I'm sorry, I forgot who she was. She actually did a children's book on just like, she used her phone, she went around, took pictures, and it was like a kid's book. And it was really it was a neat little, like an educational book for the kids. Cool book. Love the use of the color on the cover page. Oh, thank you so much. If you're looking at the thumbnail down here, those were images from Vexels. I ended up throwing those on there, and actually I used a software called eCover Authority that made it look like it's an open book. It's not really. Yes, I love it. Awesome, good stuff. I'm gonna draw it digitally. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool for sure. For sure. Alrighty, so good to see that everybody is tuning in here today. 33 in the house. I appreciate that. 19 thumbs up, 1 thumb down. That's okay. I'll be all right with that. So hit that thumbs up if you definitely enjoyed today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start to wrap things up. I do want to bring to your attention, if you've made it this far, by now I always say, prove it that you made it this far, because drop 5 claps and a wink. 5 claps and a wink. Alrighty, so here we go. We're going to start to wrap it on up, and you're going to head on over to this very next video where actually it's a video series about self-publishing children's books. And I go a little bit more in depth about other ways that you can self-publish. And I also showed you the Kindle Kids Book Creator in a different light. So you want to make sure that you take a look at this very next video. Thank you for tuning in, folks. I'll see you in the next video.